Heyo, you're tuning into Toasted Time, where I cook your time with some Reddit stories. Right now, we've got entitled parents, where an entitled mom wants their daughter to pay for their creep of a stepbrother's student debt. Our next story is by Money Photograph. I have an older stepbrother, Chris, who has been a nightmare since the day my mom married his dad. Let me give a bit of a background. Our parents married when I was 4 and he was 17. Both our parents were widowed, and after their wedding we moved to the US since my mom had American citizenship through marriage. I was born in the US too, but after my dad passed away when I was 1, my mom and I moved back to Colombia. Stepdad got his residency through marriage, and my stepbrother because he was a minor. My stepbrother wasn't a very big fan of me, and my only memories of him are just constant bullying. He would be left in charge of me since he was studying locally and lived with my parents, but mostly his babysitting really meant things like locking me in the guest bathroom or the shed outside. He would steal my lunchbox whenever he was the one who dropped me off at school, and he even began to harm my pets. I have an older cat that has been with me for almost 22 years. He has tried more than once to run her over with his car, and my parents never believed any of it. He is the classic golden child. My mom absolutely wanted a son instead of a daughter, so my stepbrother took priority over me. And the bullying just kept getting worse and creepier. He had this long key for the bathroom. The door was designed in case it got locked by accident. One could open them by inserting a long stick or key through a small hole on the outside, and he would use it to walk in on me showering. And my underwear would disappear sometimes, and I know for a fact it was him. He also started taking pictures of me while sleeping. One night, I woke up to him taking care of himself next to me while I slept. And I yelled, obviously. My parents came over, but he wasn't in trouble. I was in trouble for tempting him. I was 14 when this happened. He was 27. No one helped me, and he got bolder until he did something that I am still in therapy for when I was 16. It got to a point where I called my biological half-older brother Sam to see if I could live with him and his wife Sandy during the last 2 years of high school. When Sam found out what was going on, he confronted my mom. And my mom did not care and just told him to take me as long as he didn't ask her for money. Done and done. My brother and his wife became my legal guardians and took me with my cat and the old family dog since I didn't trust leaving any living creatures with Chris around. My parents never checked on me, and my extended family from my father's side knew what happened, and they immediately got together to ensure I could finish school well and go to college. I didn't know my maternal family at all. Thanks to my paternal family, including Sam's mother and her family, I got my bachelor's and master's with no student debt and work as a nurse practitioner. I still live with Sam, his wife, and their 2 kids, and I pay a small rent. Neither Sam nor his wife expected me to pay anything, but that is the least I can do for the 2 people who have taken care of me for 13 years. And for anyone wondering why I didn't move, it is incredibly expensive where I live, and Sam insisted I stay with them until I save enough to buy my own home. And things seemed okay until my mom messaged me recently. She had not messaged me since I was 18 when she told me that she no longer had any responsibility to me. In this message, she sounded overly friendly and telling me how she missed me and asked how I was doing. And I was a bit creeped out but decided to be nice, telling her about what I had done since leaving her care. She seemed very interested since apparently she knew I was a nurse but not what kind I was. She began asking me about my salary, and I didn't tell her anything about it, but that it was enough to pay the bills. My mom then began texting about Chris and how he was barely making any money due to his student debt. Apparently, Chris never finished a degree, jumping from career to career, and he is now working in my stepdad's used car business as a salesman, but most of his pay went to the substantial student debt he got over the year. And I told my mom how sorry I was that Chris was having a hard time and wished him luck. And that is when my mom finally got to what she wanted. She texted me that I needed to pay his student debt so he could finally begin to make the money he deserves like a man of the family. I just turned off my phone. When I got home, Sam was surprised since I was usually the last to arrive. Sandy wasn't home yet, but I told Sam what happened and showed him my mom's text messages. I don't think I've seen Sam this angry ever, and he told me to block my mom, stepdad, and Chris if I had not done so yet. After talking with Sam and Sandy, I called my boss to ask the next day and the one after off. This gave me a 4-day weekend, including the days I am normally off shift. My boss was more than okay with this and told me to just take it easy and let her know if she could help. And this backfired because the next day my mom and Chris decided to come to Sam's house to speak to me. I was alone since Sam and Sandy were at work and the kids were at school. I immediately called Sam and told him what was going on, and he told me to not open the door and that he was on his way. My mom spent the whole time screaming that I owed them for raising me and that my sweet brother deserved the money. Chris was going around trying to find a window or door unlocked, and there wasn't any since the windows have safety bars and the only other door was in the closed garage and one in the yard. The yard one was locked, and just in case, I locked the one in the garage. I won't post what he called me when he saw me from one of the windows, but basically he pretty much told me that they should have thrown me away when I was a baby since I grew up to be such a bee. He pounded on one of the windows so hard he actually cracked the glass. Eventually he gave up and went back to the front door, clearly trying to kick it down, but I didn't have anything to worry about. The door was a security door, but I was still very scared. Between yelling, threatening, pleading, and insults, I finally heard Sam screaming to them to get lost. I only saw things from the window. Sam pretty much just dragged them both off the porch, and they got to a point that I couldn't hear, but I saw my mom and Chris pale and look scared that they pretty much before they pretty much ran to their car and drove off way past the legal speed limit. Sam came in a bit after and immediately went full overprotective brother mode, asking if I was okay, and he kept saying sorry and hugging me. Sandy arrived almost immediately after, and she looked like she was about to commit a felony. Apparently, Sam threatened him with filing charges for what he did to me when I was 16. And my brother's ace is that my stepdad was willing to testify against his own son, and that seemed enough to get Chris off our backs. But not my mom. Since then, it has been 3 days and my mom has sent texts, called non-stop with various numbers, and rallied a group of people who are supposedly my maternal family to harass me for money. She claims that money should legally be hers since she's my mother, and that is my late father's missed child support. Sam is helping me find a lawyer to get a restraining order on my mom, and I plan to take my stepdad's offer to testify by pressing charges against Chris. I can't say I can forgive him for not stopping his son, but I appreciate that he is at least trying. I don't know the details, but Chris did something to a relative of his dad, and since then they had had a really bad fallout. I took my boss's offer and will be on vacation for a few more days. But here it is. My vacation days are getting eaten up and my therapist might soon need a therapist after. Thankfully, my dark sense of humor and supportive paternal family are keeping me somewhat sane. Alright, well, how about that? Look, guys, I'm gonna be completely honest. I read through the script, and I had to take a breather. I had to, calm my demons inside, because, look, I'm Christian. I am Christian. I believe in the word fully. But holy cow, if God sent the asteroid, I would be saying, please let this lady burn in hell. Holy cow, I hate her. Oh my goodness, I have to calm down here, because, man, this is... I hate it. I hate it. What is the purpose? She has a golden child, and yet for some reason that golden child is the most bronze of bronze type trophies you could ever get. He is how old, and he doesn't have a stable job. He's moving from career to career. He has nothing going for him. How is he the golden child? How is the mom still betting all of her eggs in that basket? It is a sinking ship, and she is going down with it. I hate it. Oh, I actually hate it. I really hate it. I do not understand sexism in the case of wanting boys. I don't understand it personally. I have never, not once, ever understood that whole entire I want boys thing. If, granted, I'm not in a relationship and I debatably might have kids in the future. If I had a daughter, I wouldn't give a fudge. I wouldn't give a fridge. Like, I don't, it's a child. I'm going to raise the child differently, of course, but I'm not going to favorite that child or anything just because it's a girl or just because it's a boy. I'm not going to do that because that is stupid. It's stupid. That is it. It is just very stupid. I don't get it. I just... Oh, I hate it. I hate her. I hate her so much, and I am looking forward to her burning. Oh, man. I'm probably also going to be there as well for judging her to say that she should be in hell, but holy cow, I hate her. I just hate her. She sucks ass. Oh, thank God, though, that OP has, like, a guardian angel for a brother. Holy hootney, thank goodness the mom and deceased father had another child, but holy cow, I cannot explain. I probably need to go to therapy, if I'm being completely honest. I probably have a lot of demons that are just bursting at the beams here with this story, but it just, I tell you, I hate it. I really hate this. This strokes something inside my soul, and I hate it. I hate her, I hate the son. They can both burn in hell, and I will not care if I go down the ship with that mentality either, because I hate them. Oh my goodness, I do not have any, not a single shred of sympathy for a parent like that. I don't. It just sucks, and they're stupid. Okay, on to the next story. Sorry about that. Now, before we continue on, I just want to ask that if you are enjoying this so far, that you consider recommending this channel to friends and family, or just people you know, cause the help for this channel is greatly appreciated. So, to continue on, and the final story comes from I'm in the toilet right now. I was in a high school relationship for over 4 years when I was 13 to 7 years old, and it was highly toxic. During these times together, I was just miserable. Her family hated me so bad for no apparent reason. However, my family really liked this girl, like really liked her. They would always ask about her, and I guess it was nice having your family like your partner, but at the time, I was hiding the fact that I was completely miserable with her. My dad liked her because she was also Catholic, and my stepmom liked her because she can cook. My little sisters liked her because she had mini pom-poms that she would bring every time she came over. The only one who understood me was my mom. I live with her, so I guess she could tell whenever I get stressed because of the relationship, and she could see that I was not really happy with her. Although my mom never told me to break up with her, just that I make sure I was happy myself. I broke up with her, long story short. Fast forward a few months later to last October, and I met a girl. One thing to describe her: she genuinely makes me the happiest person on earth due to multiple things. My mom could tell that she makes me really happy, and I just look a lot better than when I was with my ex. However, the more I talk about her to my dad and stepmom, the more I realize that they may not be as happy with my newfound girl. They would not listen to my stories about her like they would excitedly get about my ex. But then my dad had told our entire family about how he doesn't like the new girl, and even tried to get his brother, my uncle, to try and get me to stay away from her. They tried setting me up with multiple girls, and every time we go out together and there's just a girl that seems to be my age, they would try and get me to walk up to her to get her number and to just hang out. The complete disregard of my current girlfriend, the thought that I was that desperate for girls and that I just don't like being chosen who I'm with, which I think is my complete choice, it all just angered me. Even my boomer grandpa told me that he is okay with anyone so long as they make me happy. We were having dinner a few weeks ago and the whole extended family, and when we were at the dinner table, they told me to find someone better and someone who fits me better. And after dinner, we went to the living room and sat there where my dad and my uncle cornered me again about girls and how I should find a better one. And that got me to my breaking point, and I just stood up and said, "Why does it concern you who I do and do not fridge?" And trust me, I did emphasize on the fridge word. Then the whole room became quiet until my grandpa laughed and told my family that they should not care too much about this stuff. My dad brought me to the yard and we had a massive argument, and he told me that I had embarrassed him in front of the whole family and that I should go back and think about what I had done. So I drove home, and so that was it. I haven't talked to him or went back to his house. So what do? I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. I'm having Orange Tube intro theme song going on in the back of my mind because this is super suspicious that the dad is so in favor of the ex. Like that is a very, he has no reason for preferring her. I mean, I guess except for, the Catholicism, but aside from that, he has no reason to prefer her over the current girlfriend. So I'm getting major suspicious vibes on this. What are you guys thinking on it? That is what I'm thinking. But as for what you should do, my opinion is cut him off. Now, granted, no, but not cut him off. Cut him out. Not fully. Maybe just like go on low contact. Which, I mean, guys, I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm just completely and absolutely jaded from the last story. I'm sorry. I have not stopped thinking about it. But trying to stick to the program here with this story, I would have to say I would go low contact with him. He is very weird, and yeah, very, very weird. I don't know how he came from his grandpa, with his grandpa having the mentality that he does. I don't know how his son became who he currently is. So yeah, just very weird. I would personally just go I'd go low contact or very low contact with him. Maybe not totally just cut him out, period, but yeah, I'd go low contact because it's just very weird behavior and it needs to be corrected before you keep on going with him, because if you don't correct that behavior by just saying, hey, you continue down this path and your name is going to be removed from my life, that behavior needs to be corrected, because if it isn't, then he's just going to continue and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So yeah, just nip it in the butt and see how that goes at that rate. That is what I would do. Anywho, well, that is about it for those stories today. But if you enjoyed, please like and subscribe to become a fellow bread bag. But aside from that, I post 2 new videos every day, so I hope to see you next time toasting session. But until then, have a good one.